Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
Hey, here we are.
Talking some business.
Talking some business. Why not? Let's do that. Hey, last week we had Tyson Daniels of Grease Monkey. That guy's doing cool stuff.
That is, man. He's a super entrepreneur and really growing. And we even talked to him about some of his growth plans after. And man, that guy is awesome. So we are glad to have Tyson last week, and we've got some great shows lined up to round out the end of the year.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, we got some big speakers. We'll talk about at the end today. We've got I think the next 3 weeks lined up with some big entrepreneurs, kind of like what we have today.
Today, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, we got some sponsors that make this thing happen, right?
It is. Let's talk about them. BBSI.
Those guys know how to run business and help support, and from anything from payroll all the way up through sales process and hiring. And yeah, if you have business needs, BBSI is a great company to go talk with.
It is. They're the best. Jeremy, Mike, all of them, Jared, all day. They've got such a great crew. I could name off like about 7 people they have on their staff that's just top notch. BBSI. If you need any human resource needs, check out BBSI. Vulpine Marketing, they keep us up to date on our website, keep us going with all of our Facebook place cards, I think you call them.
Yeah.
New Line Media, we're in their studio as we speak. That's awesome. We see a green screen behind us, but people are seeing some nice mountains on there.
And
so
Tyson does a great job there.
It does. If you need anything to deal with media, I'd encourage you to use New Line Media. And of course, the
SBDC, Best Kept Secret in Idaho, and the Innovation Center, where you help rent space to startups and coach them. I mean, that doesn't suck, right?
It's all free coaching too. So you not only get some discounted rents, but you also get free coaching. So that's what we do at the Idaho Innovation Center. So appreciate everyone's sponsorship.
And you've got a class starting next week on sales, I'm a big sales fan. Sales is the lifeblood of any
whether
company.
You have a product or service, your business involves sales of some nature. No matter, there's no business out there that doesn't involve selling of some kind of nature. So this is a class every business owner should take or send your sales manager to.
Yeah, boy, and Jared Oviatt, who's teaching it, again, works at BBSI, but and you'll have a voice in there too. But just this class, what is it, 149?
It is 149, and it is it runs every Wednesday during the month of November. So it starts on, I believe, the 3rd, and it goes from 1:30 to 3 every Wednesday. And we are going to have accessible via Zoom. We have some people signed up that are going to be actually out of the area, and so we'll be doing it via Zoom every single week. So if you can't make it one of those weeks, we will be broadcasting on Zoom, and if you can't make it there, we'll record it on Zoom. So
fantastic.
It's a class, you got to get signed up. To get signed up, go to idahosbdc.org, and we will, and you can get signed up there. In fact, be watching the show next week. We may be giving out a scholarship to that class.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of tease it a little bit for next week. Maybe we'll be doing that. You got to tune in, and it's got to be tuned in live on talkin-business.com.
There we go. But today's guest?
We got a great Dave Thewison from the Homestead Assisted Living up in Rexburg. He has so many businesses. We were learning about more of them before the show. And we're going to be talking about all those different ventures that he's done. What a great, inspiring leader this guy is with his organization. I've known many people that's worked for Dave over the years. And man, just what a great organization he's built up there in Rexburg area. So, and then at the end of the show, we're going to be talking about what every business should be doing is creating raving fans in business. And how do you do that? There's a couple techniques. It's a simple little book that we're going to be talking about at the end of the show, creating raving fans in business. So that will be our little 5-minute training at the end of the show. So we're going to start today off with watching a segment. It's about a 3-minute video that talks about the homestead and what Dave has done up there to kind of introduce what we'll be talking about today. We'll do that, and then we'll welcome Dave Thewison to our set.
Well, we're so excited about this new addition to the homestead. We built this for the community, to serve their needs and to meet the needs of the elderly. And we hope that everyone will come in and visit, see what we've got here to offer. We feel like it's a wonderful service that they don't have to leave town or go anywhere else. Rexburg is developing into a full-service community, and we're excited to be a part of it. I think the thing that's very unique about this facility is not only how beautiful it is and all the amenities that we offer, but the main thing is the caregivers. We hire a lot of BYU Idaho students to be the caregivers. Our management team is very stable and been with us a long time and has a lot of experience. And then we hire these wonderful students that are the cream of the crop from around the country. They're screened and vetted before they come to school, and then we interview and screen them again, and they just love and care for these guests here. They've got young legs. They can hustle up and down the halls and deliver medications and drinks and do activities, and so it just has a wonderful spirit here. You know, we're so excited to have this new building finally finished. It was 2 years in the making, about 13 months in construction. Headwaters Construction was our contractor and just did a fabulous job. The details are in this building. And we came in on time, thankfully. And so we're very excited to have it finally open and offer it to the community. And we hope that they'll come and take advantage of this wonderful facility. Well, I grew up here in this community. I love Rexburg and the surrounding area. And it's a unique culture here. And we understand this culture and want to share it with all of our friends. It's fun for me. I can't go to the grocery store without seeing somebody who's had their parents or loved ones stay with us. And so I'm making friends with everybody in this community, and I just love that. And that's why we built this. We wanted to be proud of it. We wanted to make it something so that the people in this community felt like we cared about them.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. And David was just talking about how much he loves public speaking and watching himself on video. But so you did branch out. I mean, you're from Rexburg, but you moved back east for a while, right?
We did. Yeah.
And what was that like? You were in commercial real estate. So what exactly were you up to back there?
You know, I grew up there in Rexburg in the tire business.
Yeah.
Changing tires and brakes and shocks at Clarendy's tire store. So that's what I intended to do all my life.
Yeah.
One day I'd come home from a mission for our church.
Yeah.
I'd gotten married. And I went to my father and I said, you know, Dad, I've been working here for 12 years. I can do all these things. You know, I'm your best salesman. I care about the customer and the people, just like you've taught me. Now, can you at least just pay me what you pay everybody else? He always paid me about $2 an hour less because I was family.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I've done that.
I bought my
nepotism.
meals, right? And anyway, I said, come on, Dad, that isn't right. And he said, hey, if you don't like it, go to college.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me upset at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit, and I went to pumping gas at the co-op for about $2 an hour more, and I decided I better go back to college
Yeah.
and get an education. And so after college, I went to BYU, and then back east, I was recruited by a company that sent us to Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, then West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
After being married for 10 years and moving 12 times, we said we got to put down some roots.
Yeah.
Back to Rexburg you come.
Well, we actually moved to Montana, and I started a business up there.
Yeah.
And after about 3 years, it really had taken off. And
that was a bank, or what was that business?
that was a landscape materials company.
Okay. Yeah.
And it really took off. And in fact, it was a real challenge going up there. When we got started, I had a cell phone and a pickup, and
That's it.
boy, we had 26 people calling me and say, "I hear you're going up there. I want to go with you."
Yeah.
I felt the weight of the world. In fact, I had to go to 7 different banks before I could get a loan, and I'd already started.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first bank just laughed at me.
Yeah.
By the third bank, I said, "Well, just tell me why," and then he helped me develop my business plan.
Right.
And then the next guy didn't like it, so I said, "Well, tell me why," and he helped me modify it some more. And by number 7, I had quite a story to
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that business just took off, and then
And
a
those
fellow came
previous
in
6
it.
banks probably wish they had believed in you a
It
little
worked
better,
out
right?
well. Yeah, we had all of our loans paid off in 3 years, and
Wow.
we were just going gangbusters. And then all my kids were leaving to go to college, and there was nothing to bring them back to Montana. And so, when the opportunity arose to sell it, I sold it. Then.
So then you went from commercial real estate into, not that you don't have a commercial real estate aspect to what you currently do, but what was the drive to get involved? Because this is noble work. I know people that are in this. This is
Yeah.
hard work. This is noble work. I helped take care of my dad for a number of years,
Oh.
and so it's hard stuff. So what was that
Yeah.
transition? Why choose that, land on that business?
I'd like to say it was a noble gesture, but it was a real estate play to start.
Yeah.
All I had on my resume was that I was the best manure salesman west of the Mississippi.
Wow. Well, that's a good thing to have.
That was self-declared.
That'll get you a lot of jobs.
Yeah, and we had met the people who had started this. A Little Assisted Living was a different name. It was a franchise.
Yeah.
It was very small, and they just were really struggling. And in order to help them, I thought, well, I'll just buy the buildings, let them operate it, and I'll get into this business. Well, I just kept getting sucked in because they didn't know how to manage it. They didn't hire the right people. They didn't know the basic business principles to make it work. And so I finally just realized, if it's going to be a good investment, I'm going to have to make something of it.
Yeah.
So we jumped in. Now, back then, it was easier
Yeah.
to get in. Now it's substantially more difficult,
Yeah.
but we grew it over the years since 2005.
Yeah.
So talk to us about all what you have there in Rexburg. You've developed it from just an assisted living. Kind of talk to us about how you've grown the business.
Well, so we started out with 2 little 14-bed buildings. There was a junkyard behind, and we thought, well, this looks bad, so let's buy it. And then we built a building on it. Boy, it filled right up.
Wow.
So we bought one in St. Anthony, and that just took off. Then we decided we would build some independent living. That did so well.
Yep.
We built our flagship building on Main Street there in Rexburg, and
Beautiful building.
that's a beautiful building.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen that building, you need to check that out. So.
And then we built a second series of independent living cottages right there on Main Street that have done well. And we started a home health and hospice that takes care of the needs of in palliative, in later life care,
Right.
end of life care.
Right.
Let's see. We've started a real estate development company because all the things that we have done is
Developing real estate.
Developing
Yeah.
real estate, adding buildings and rooms and.
So how many people do you have you can now put there at the homestead?
Well, I have 15 family members that work there,
Yeah.
and a total of about 220 employees.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And how many rooms do you have there with the independent living?
Just about 200.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
So then you go to a lot of expense in building these things. Have you ever looked at doing acquisitions of existing ones? Because at some point, someone's going to come to you and say, hey, David, you did a great job here. We want to roll you into our portfolio if they haven't already. Right?
Yeah, we've had a bit of that already.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunities out there. You know, our goal was to create a family business that we could. By the way, I have 3 sons, 2 son-in-laws and a son. I call them all my sons.
Right.
And a daughter that manages the place for us.
They all family, very family oriented.
They are.
People know them when they come there. They not only know you, but they know your sons.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. They do. And so to answer your question, I have had other opportunities. We've branched out a little bit to St. Anthony, but boy, you know, to go very much further, we haven't felt that we could put our personal touch on it.
Yeah, because that's what happens, right?
The greater you spread out, I know there's a lot of opportunity out there to make a lot more money.
Right.
But for us, this keeps us pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We do have plans for further growth and expansion, but it'll be in this local area.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the development that he's done there in Rexburg, I mean, top first class. When you go in to that organization, it is just absolutely a phenomenally run building.
Thank you.
I've had my dad that's gone up there and stayed there doing some therapy and some things, but every time I went up there, I was just couldn't have been. I've had neighbors that have moved up into your place. That have just absolutely loved it. I went and visited one family about a year and a half ago, before his wife passed away, and they couldn't speak highly. They were from Rigby, and they just absolutely couldn't speak highly enough of them, of the place and the staff and everything, and what the results of what you've grown over the last 15 years is you've built a great. I would call it an empire there that's taken a lot of forethinking, a lot of thinking ahead of what you have to do. So talk to us about some of these other. You're doing some property, you're doing some developing and stuff.
We've purchased some property just off of Pancarry in Idaho Falls, and we're developing some property there with Camping World.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a real good deal for us. We've developed some other land in Rexburg. We have some property up in the Teton Valley that we're developing and selling some lots, and that seems to be going real well.
Wow! So when we have all of our speakers fill out the questionnaire, and I just want to. We ask for what is some advice that you would give some entrepreneurs, and we like to think that we have some great entrepreneurs that are watching the show, and I wanted to point out some of these things that he put down. Think big, make wise choices, don't overestimate, and self-deception. There is always money available for the right idea. And then he talks about that he went to 7 banks that he talked about in his first before his business plan was accepted. And here's one of my favorite thoughts as well: no risk, no reward.
Yeah. Well, over the years, we have taken a lot of risks.
You have.
And some of it I wouldn't do again.
Yes.
But for the most part, that's where the big rewards have come. When we went to Montana to start this business up there, most everybody said, oh, that's pretty risky. I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah.
We felt pretty inspired by that one, and we just went for it. But it was a lot of hard work. And I think there's easier ways to make money.
Yeah.
So I think startups are great. There's great potential there. However, if I was going to advise my sons, I would say find a business with low-hanging fruit. That's already going. It's already got cash flow. It's easier to get loans from the banks. Use the bank's money. And especially with interest rates the way they are now.
Right.
Leverage and use the bank's money and then grow those businesses.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, you've used the SBDC, and on this show,
We have.
Tyler likes to refer to it as the biggest hidden gem of Idaho. To utilize the coaching through the SBDC. Kind of talk to tell the people, some people just don't know what all is available with the SBDC. So how is the SBDC?
Yeah, they were great with us. Of course, our first loan, we got an SBA loan, and they were great to help us, guide us through that. And then they have brought graduate students in to do some analysis on our business and help us determine, some marketing schemes and some what the clients, the customers are telling us, and they've been real helpful. Yeah, we've really enjoyed working with them.
He's worked with Dave Nowak, the regional director up there, and
yeah, Dave couldn't be more helpful. I mean, this guy goes out of his way to help people, and I really appreciated him.
Yeah,
it is, and this is all the service that is available for any business throughout Idaho. So if you're watching this show and you haven't had utilized the SBDC, we're available here to help take your business to the next level, and it's nice to have these clients like Dave that have utilized them and utilized the free resources. Most of them being free. Some of the teams and stuff might cost a little bit, but you've utilized them well.
Yeah, they're great.
Talk about the buildings that you have up there. So you have the independent living, the assisted living, you have the home health and hospice, and all of that's run out of the buildings.
They are. We have about a block there with one or two properties intermingled, but most of that block we have. And so, yeah, they're just a great complementary business. What we tried to do once we got the assisted living going, we looked for businesses that had synergies that would complement what we're doing. And so the independent living cottages have just been a big hit. And they're a great feeder for the assisted living.
Right.
Then the home health and hospice, is a great need and comforting to have there, and that's been a great business too. It's just done well.
Well, you've been raised right in the business. I grew up in the Rexburg area. We were discussing before. I know his dad. I worked with his. I've been neighbors with his uncle. The Thuisons is a well-known family in the Rexburg area. What a legacy Claire and Dee have passed on. Chris has taken the business, and now he's handing that to the tire store, on to some of his children, I believe. And what a legacy that you've built there with the homestead.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been wonderful, and I have to give the credit to Claire and Dee. We really rode on their coattails and their reputation of good, honest, straightforward man to work with. And so it's been a real blessing for us to have that reputation there in Rexburg.
Yeah.
So growing up there, then you remember Rexburg even smaller than it is today.
Oh, yeah.
And now here we are. Where do you foresee it going? Because there's a lot of upside, but then you also probably have a few of the locals that are going, whoa, hold on a second, we don't want to see this, right? And so there's probably even some slowing down of growth. But where do you see Rexburg going?
It's kind of a catch-22. Yeah, there's some of the older folks that say, whoa, way too much traffic, too much outside influence coming in.
Yeah.
And I too love that culture and the people in Rexburg, and I'd like to see that preserved. And I hope the people that come in, which is great for the economy,
right?
And we want to welcome them in.
Yeah.
And I hope they'll see the great culture and the great family values that are in that community, and that they'll want to adhere to that and not try to change things too much. I mean, there's probably some good change that could happen.
Yeah, there's going to be some good change, but
there is.
But I think with even recent announcements, and even as you were talking about some of your properties before, how there was a junkyard. I mean, that's an eyesore on that community that now is a beautiful space, right?
Absolutely.
So those are great things that are happening as well.
Yeah, we've purchased and moved or torn down 14 houses that were very old and needed some renovation and landscaping, and we've been able to beautify that. In fact, we won the Rexburg Chamber of Commerce Beautification Award.
Yeah, there we go.
And I say there's a reason for that. If you haven't seen what Dave has done up there in this block area with all of his independent living houses and it is a beautiful addition to that.
Oh,
area.
thank you.
So
That's very nice of you.
it is just couldn't be better. Let's talk a little bit about COVID. How is your industry is
Oh,
so
yeah.
temperamental with that you have to be following the rules, and all you need is for a big outbreak to happen in one of your facilities, so you have to follow the. How has that affected your business?
I should say so. It's interesting. 2008, 2009, and the recession, we didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
COVID has been a big hit.
Yeah.
It's been very challenging, both on a couple of reasons. One, of course, we wanted to keep all of our residents safe.
Yeah.
And so the state imposes very strict regulations, and we go above and beyond that.
Yeah.
And so we've been fortunate that we haven't had too many problems. So, but I'll tell you, the biggest challenge right now is I don't know where all the employees went.
Yeah.
And where did they all go? Well, the government paid them double for a while.
I
and
guess,
I think they've
but-
just gone away playing games in their house or something.
That's
I don't
been
know.
very, very challenging. That's probably been our single biggest challenge. Of course, I mentioned we have around a little over 200 employees, and we want to pay them a fair wage, and we provide them meals. We feed these college kids. They have a good, square, nutritious meal while they're there, and it's very difficult right now to find enough help. We're regularly looking for 20 or 30 people all the time.
Yeah, and it's hard work though when you're dealing at
is.
times, but
It is hard work. Yeah,
what is
it's
a
not
college,
for everybody.
Yeah, but as I mentioned earlier, I know because having been in there and you've been in it,
Yeah.
it's noble work and it needs to be done.
It is, and thank you
Yeah.
for bringing that up. I have loved these caregivers and nurses who they give of themselves every day.
Yeah,
And they are so wonderful. And particularly, this is why we love this location, is that these kids are coming from around the country. They're the cream of the crop.
yeah, they really
And
are.
they have, eternal values, kind of, sort of to speak. And they love these folks, and they just care for them. We have people who come who we do all the training with them, and we teach them everything they need to know, and just love them. But we offer a raise and a bonus if they stay 6 months.
Yeah. I think they're more interested in the food. I'm just.
I think it is. We don't, and so we have quite a turnover, which is a challenging thing for us. So.
Yep. We've got a person that made a comment here, and I just wanted to read this. This is from one of our people watching the show live. This is from Alan Howell. He's a good co-worker, cohort out in the Salmon area, out in Lemhi County. Having my mother at Homestead proved to be one of the best decisions we've ever made for her care. The staff had us and her feel like beloved family. Any questions we had were immediately responded to. And that's and I can say Alan says this, but I can say that I know of many people myself that's the kind of things. You are the go-to place of the Upper Valley. I can tell you that you built the reputation on your business, and this is something that that he declared here while we're on the show. But I can guarantee there's 1,000 others probably of those type of similar things. So.
Well, that is so good to hear. We really like those kind of comments.
Yeah. Because you get the other ones too. It
We
doesn't
do.
matter what
Yeah,
you do.
you
But
do. Yeah,
so
you
what do you
can't please
say?
everyone.
Yeah. What do you say to someone in business? Because I had to come to the philosophy: talk good about me, talk bad about me, just keep talking about me. Right. That was one thing. But what do you do? Because it's a hard job that you're doing.
It is.
When people really kind of come after you, I guess. What would be a recommendation to a business owner?
Well, first of all, we want to listen.
Yeah.
And we want to hear what their concerns would be.
Yeah.
And then we want to make it a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And because we're not corporate owned, we're family owned, and we have the ability to make quick decisions, and we don't need to send it clear up the chain of command, and because we live in the community, we really care about these people.
Yeah.
And so our reputation and making sure that they're happy is really important to us.
Yeah. No, and I had my responsibility in my church. There was one of our neighbors moved from her home, which she loved, but she just was beyond the ability to be there any longer, into an assisted living center here in Idaho Falls. And so I'd go visit her, and I would say, "Well, how you doing today, Elma?" And I hate it here. And that was how it started, because they are sometimes moving from their home that they've
Often
lived
they
in.
don't
her
want to
case,
leave their home.
it was a solid 60 plus years.
Yeah.
And so finally I just said, tell me one thing you like about the place. And she goes, well, the food's good and the cookies are really great. And when I'd visit her, she would hoard these cookies.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Anyway, but
Yeah,
it
we
is.
see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a good point. Is you have to help them to love where they are sometimes.
Yeah.
What level of care do you provide from people that just need a smaller home with the independent living? They can do everything on their own, but you still check on them and things like that. Up to what kind of level of care do you provide there?
That's a great point. We have the independent living where we do activities. This week they brought them up to one of my cabin, took them pheasant hunting.
Did they really?
They do all kinds of things. Take them on the river fishing and picnics. They do all kinds of activities to people that are bedbound and who we do all their care for them. We change them, we feed them, we do everything for them. And we also, I'm a partner with Madison Memorial Hospital in Madison Carriage Cove, which is a skilled nursing center right there in that same campus, which handles the complete gamut, everything. So,
wow. Well, that's absolutely awesome. I can't say enough about the business, Homestead Senior Living up there, and independent living, home health. He's doing the properties. He's doing developing. This guy is an entrepreneur and just a forward thinker, and he's not afraid to go out there, take a little bit of risk to make some rewards. And we just need more of those people in the community, don't we?
Yeah, and we should have had your wife up here as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean,
It's a joint
you're
effort.
doing great things, but it's because she trained you well, I'm sure.
That's right. Yeah,
And she's there to support you in all this.
She's been a valid partner in all of this. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah.
Well,
We did it together.
you've come from great lineage there in the Rexburg area. Couldn't think of better people than what your dad and his brother Claire and Dee. Absolutely, I couldn't help but when I saw Claire the other day to give him a hug, because he was one of the most inspiring people that I did as I grew up in that valley.
Oh,
so.
yeah, he's a great man.
So you have a great vision of where you've been and where you're at and where you're going to, and we commend you for that, and we encourage all of the people to go up there and see the homestead, what you've built up there. Is there anything that we may have missed, Dave, in talking about all of your ventures and everything like that?
Oh, I think we've hit it well. Yeah, that's been great, and we're grateful to be on your show, and we sure wish you well with your ventures here. And
great.
It's been a fun experience.
Good. Well, talk to us about this this quote that you have that you have, and this is listen up. Every business needs to hear what he has here.
Yeah, so, what's been important for us is that we live the golden rule, and we make every relationship a win-win relationship, and we really make every effort to do that. We're not always able to do it every time, but we certainly try to, and I think that's been the key to our success, is that we want everyone to have a fair and good experience, and treat them like we want to be treated.
Right.
And we really take that to heart.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, great. I hope every business person out there that's watching the show live or after pays attention to that. And I wish that every business throughout the country would follow this golden rule, because there would be a lot better customer service out there.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dave, for being here and representing the businesses that you run and what you do up in Eastern Idaho. We're gonna roll right into that. What his thought there of creating win-win relationships. We're gonna roll that right into our next segment of doing a little bit of training. Now, we've talked a little bit about this in the past, but if your business has not read this book of Raving Fans, I promise you, this is a book that you could read in. Most people could read this book in about an hour. It's literally it's a fictional book.
I don't see any pictures. You're saying about an hour. I need some pictures.
Dude, it's 100 pages, but there's no more than like 50 words on a page. Yeah. So this is absolutely a great read, and not just beyond the read. If you need to pay attention to the things that are in here, and so we're gonna quickly just go through and talk about and hopefully inspire you to go out and get this book. It's a simple. I think it was like $10, and I've got a copy. We're going to give this away. We've got a question, so stay tuned at the end. We're going to ask a question at the end, but let's just talk about what's in this book. There's 3 principles that they talk about. Number 1, decide on your service vision. What is it that you want to provide to your customers? Second of all, discover what your customer wants. And what you want and what the customer wants. And then the best part is, Tyler?
What? Oh, third. I thought you were asking a question in regards to the first 2. But then deliver, right? But I do think, I just want to come back. Sometimes you want to create this experience. Well, how do you know that's what the customer wants? Shouldn't you ask them directly?
Correctly.
But then deliver on that.
You've got to deliver. You've got to deliver the +1. And this is the reason why businesses like the Homestead are able to grow and become successful, is that they create win-win agreements, what Dave talked about, and that you exceed those expectations and treat people like you want to be treated yourself. And that's what this book is all about. And when I used to have my business, I had multiple stores, and I brought all of our managers in for a retreat meeting in Phoenix, and they all had to read this book to come there. And then we talked about what it was in our company, what we wanted it to look like, what the customer wanted to look like, and then what we could do to deliver that +1%.
Yeah. No, and sometimes it is as easy as a good chocolate chip cookie too,
it is.
Right? I mean, so, but just that delivery. But you talk about that +1%. Some of the books I've been reading lately just talk about 1% over a period of time amasses into 37% better, or in a short period of time. But anyway, get your people to buy into that, and the clients are happy, and that's what matters.
And it talks about in that book that every customer that comes into your business is important, and you want all of them to leave happy. And I'm sure that you train your sons and everybody to do this.
Absolutely. It's the personal touch that makes the difference.
Yeah. And
you go the extra mile, and you visit those residents, and you get to know the families, and you have those good cookies, and we have a steak day where they love the steak. And you do the extra little things that make a difference.
And that is what makes the difference between an average business and a great business. And I encourage you as business owners out there that are watching this, read the book, train your staff on what it is that takes your vision, what the customer's vision, marrying them, and then give them +1%, or a little bit more. Make it so that every customer that comes to your business has a memorable experience for the positive by going out of your way and creating them right. So a quick, simple read. You got to get this. This is one of the have-to business. We talk about the E-Myth book.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur's got to read the E-Myth Revisited. That's the #1 book. But this is one of those that affected my business in such a great, positive way. And this was before Google ratings 10 years ago. So this is what we had to do to get people into to make sure they were treated right in our business. And
now, my question to you is, are you willing to give that away? Because it sounds, the way you're holding on to that, I don't know that you are. He's giving this book away.
I got an extra copy of it this week, so I wanted to give away a copy, and hopefully there's, so we're going to, it's a simple question. If you want to put my cell phone number up there. So the person, and if you're watching this live, if not, if you're watching it after, you can still try. I'd love to get text for the next couple of weeks. There's my number. If you can answer this one question, what was Dave Thewison's quote for the day? It had something to do that you might read in the Bible.
Yeah,
it might.
Not bad advice.
So if you can just text me what it was all about. There was a couple things a couple words. If you can text us what his quote was for the day, that's it.
That's it.
So simple, easy.
I'm watching your phone right now. No one's texting. Okay, someone's texting.
Yes, it'll be coming in here soon. So, all right, let's talk about the show for next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Casey Jackman.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of this guy is with the Idaho Falls Community Hospital. He's also with Mountain View, and we're going to learn all about the great things that is Idaho Falls Community Hospital has come into the valley here. In the last couple of years, they built an amazing building here in Idaho Falls, across the street from the big giant that's been here forever.
Yeah.
And they're making an impact here in eastern Idaho. And Casey Jackman is going to be here and talk about what they're doing and the impact that they have for eastern Idaho.
Yeah.
He's a great, fun guy. We're going to have him on the show next week. And then after that, we got a great Jeremy Taylor. He's what he's known as.
Yeah.
I know him as Jeremy Dressen.
But yeah.
But we got him the following week, and he's going to be talking about some great things that's happening here with he has a radio show. He has a marketing company. He has a salon business. He's just absolutely great. So we're going to have Jeremy on. And then after that, we got some Alpha Graphics coming on. We got some great shows lined up in the future. Stay tuned to Talkin Business. Thanks for tuning in today. And thank you, Dave, for making the trip down here from Rexford.
Sure, my pleasure.
So,
great to be with you guys.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on Talkin Business.
Idaho Innovation Center, taking your business to the next level. The Idaho Innovation Center is a business incubator located in eastern Idaho, providing resources to companies where entrepreneurs can confidently and aggressively start and grow their small business through collaboration, education, mentoring, and shared resources. Here's what some tenants of the Idaho Innovation Center have said. The classes they hold at the Idaho Innovation Center have proven to be invaluable for my business and its growth. The Idaho Innovation Center has given my business the support when needed in areas of business strategy, marketing, networking, and growth opportunities. An innovative tenant said, "The training and mentoring has helped us accomplish things we would never have done on our own. Thank you." And a technology client said, "The Idaho Innovation Center has been a perfect partner for our startup, the staff." And finally, I would recommend the Idaho Innovation Center as the best resource to either start or grow your business in eastern Idaho. The Idaho Innovation Center, stimulating entrepreneurial spirit and innovation through business growth and development in eastern Idaho. At the Idaho Innovation Center, entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business through networking and educational opportunities with experienced business professionals. There is access to many free amenities, including one-on-one business mentoring and advising through the Small Business Development Center, conference room usage, and reception services. Everything we do at the Idaho Innovation Center is designed to help keep costs down and energy up for growth-oriented businesses.
Let the Idaho Innovation Center take your business to the next level.
My dad still thinks he's got to be making money. He's 80 years old. He just hasn't got enough confidence.